And episode 47 is in the books. This was a movie review. We checked out Ready Player One.
Yep.
Officially my new favorite movie of all time. Got a lot of spiritual and a lot of material in there, so that was cool.
Yeah, we go through it.
Yep. If you like what we hear, support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Socratic Gamers.
Merchandise.
Yep, shop.galloverfront.com. Pick up a tea on Teespring. And don't forget to like, comment, share,
All that good stuff.
all that good stuff. Subscribe.
Cool.
Yeah.
Here we go. Commercial.
Thanks. I
We
know.
never had a commercial yet.
Yeah, we didn't have any commercials yet. All right, let's.
I mean, they don't have a commercial yet either.
Oh, I see. MeUndies. We wear MeUndies. We don't, but we'd like to be sponsored. And if we, if we were sponsored by you, we'd shout you out right now.
Right now.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Ba-boom! We're back with another episode of Socratic Gamers. This is episode 48.
I think it's... Is it 48?
47?
I put 47.
All right, it's episode 47, if not 48. We'll figure that one out
Hopefully that's...
in the clip art. This is another movie review. A very awesome movie review because it was actually one of the best movies I personally have ever seen. Spoiler alert. It is, well, this whole thing's going to be a spoiler, but we watched Ready Player One last night.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's like 2 weeks overdue. When
I
did it come
think
out?
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks. We haven't seen it for 2 weeks, but people were raving about it. Not really. One person was.
Well, in our cycle, in our circle of friends.
Yeah.
Circle.
But like web-wise, I didn't really see anything too much about it. Actually, you and I were going to go watch Rampage instead. And then
because that's what came out.
that's what came out. So we're like, okay, we'll watch Rampage, do a movie review. But then we're like, we don't really want to pay for the IMAX. So we decided to go for Ready Player One because it was cheaper. And boy, were we surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely better than Rampage. I think it would have been. But so as always, we're going to score it. We're going to talk about the movie. We're going to score it again to see if we shifted the other person's Ready Player One person's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to go first?
Sure. Mine is a simple 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. I like it. I gave that one a 200 out of 10.
Oh my god.
All right. Obviously, all right. I'll give it a 15.
Someone loved it.
I'll give it a 15. 15 out of 10. It was yeah, I'll give it a 15.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Why? Because it officially made it to the number one spot on my top 5 list. Top 5 movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be, do you have a top 5?
No, I mean, because they always change.
Okay, so you don't have one that, do you have at least one movie that you're like, this is the greatest movie, like, I could watch this over and over. I know which one. Dark Knight.
It's not always over and over.
But for the Joker, you'd be like,
But that's for the character, though.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. So do you have a movie that you're like, I love this movie?
I love the character.
All right, so you didn't like the movie?
Huh?
You didn't like the movie, you just love the character?
I like the movie, but I think the character is what
Made it, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
made it. But
So that's
it's
what made
not like as a movie was my greatest.
All right, so what was your greatest movie? I'm just curious. Like, for somebody who watches a lot of movies. Okja? Did you like Okja? Was that your favorite?
I liked Okja.
Or that Japanese piano one? The Korean one?
What?
Remember you're like, oh, that movie was so touching because, like, she played the piano in front of her family at the very last scene. She was a pianist. She's, like, from China or something.
I don't remember this one.
Oh, it's like a Korean movie, maybe?
Could be. I know there was one that was this Last Dance of Mao or something like that.
I think that's the one.
I think that's the one.
Yeah.
But that's not piano. That was dancing.
Oh, yeah. Why did I think dance?
I think it was ballet. Was it ballet?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you're talking about that. Yeah, you said it was really good. Was that your number one?
Number one? Again, I don't. It always changes. I can't.
All right, fine.
I just don't have a number one because every year there's something.
Better?
Yeah, because I will forget the other ones.
Okay. Touche, yeah.
Like, it's just. I don't have that kind of list.
All right, fine.
It just changes, right?
Well, for
for
me,
what the time is.
For me, number one so far in life is Ready Player One.
All right.
Number 2 would be The Matrix, and then it doesn't really matter what else comes after 1 and 2. I guess number 3. But yeah. All right. So, anyways, King Arthur would be number 3, the one with Guy Ritchie. So good. So, yeah. So, what did you like about the movie?
I think I love the pure nostalgia of it.
True. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And it's like the nostalgia, but it's also because it was about video games.
Mm.
Everything relating to video games
For sure. For
was
sure.
in it, like like certain transactions, like like the
Yeah,
coins
when
and
he
stuff,
picked
you
up the
know.
coins, that was
Yeah,
very cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I felt like they were trying to touch upon like escapism for like for society.
Yeah, and
You
there,
know,
there,
like-
there
like-
was a pretty at that in the movie. It was a pretty. bleak
But then we just
society
found
for
out
those.
today that Ready Player One's novel came out in 2013, but so did GTA 5 in 2013. And this movie is like very it's like basically GTA 5 is like you create a player and you live in a world. You can like live in the world.
Yeah,
It's
and
such an open
it
world.
has that. Exactly, it reminded me of GTA 5.
Yeah, and then which is a striking breakthrough. I never even thought about that, but yeah, it was like a GTA 5 game where you can like set up races, you can go to like the clubs, you can
Right.
yeah, just do a bunch of like side quests and stuff. But so for you like the parallels it drew for video games?
Yeah, I mean all of the things that you did as when you were younger too, and I mean I still do kind of play those games, but
For
it's
sure, yeah.
like to see them in a movie in this kind of.
And the terminology too,
Yeah,
like when
and the
they're saying like
terminology.
Easter eggs and like
Oh no, yeah.
you know, it was just really interesting. I was saying how you definitely could tell that he believed in his product because every character didn't have like a spin-off character. Like it didn't look like the Master Chief's Halo, but he called him like, King Commando or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
They actually called them by what they were. Like he's like that one scene at the very end. He's like, I'm gonna choose the Gundam.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yo.
Oh,
Didn't
was
expect
so
that.
good. Yeah. Did
And
not expect that.
what I liked was they nipped it in the bud really early because you're kind of like, oh, how come they look like different superheroes and stuff? Like one's a Batman, and then she said like right away, he's like, oh, she has the Akira skin, right?
Yeah.
And it's like Akira's like an anime, and they have like the skin from the anime to mirror her motorbike.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really cool.
Yeah. There was a lot of things that I liked about it. It's
okay.
just.
We're gonna go through the material first
Yeah.
before we go to the spiritual, because I liked it for the spiritual reasons,
All right.
but you liked it for like the actual like enjoyment of it. So like let's talk about that first.
Okay.
So-
Trying to remember what else. So
It was very immersive. Like it was sort of like Avatar, how Avatar
Yeah.
was super immersive. Like when you went into the Avatar world, you felt like you were there. But when he put on the goggles, you felt like you were there there too. Like that sense of invincibility
Yeah.
was there. You know, did you feel
Yeah.
that as well? You're like, oh, I'm like in a digital world.
yeah, and I
Like,
wanted to
anything could
keep
happen.
seeing that. I wanted to keep seeing that.
Me too. I was like, even how
Because
they,
that's where the cool stuff was. So the races,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
crashes, the
but not in the real
the
world.
action.
And they even did the whole like the Shining Red Room stuff. That was really
Man.
cool. Like
I didn't see that. Yeah,
they
yeah.
crossed genres in this one. They went video games, anime, and
I think it was all
movies.
is pop culture
Yeah,
because there
he
was
loved pop
references
culture,
to
yeah,
the
yeah.
Lex quote from Lex
Yeah,
Luthor.
Superman. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Like
yeah.
from a nostalgic enjoyment level, this movie was like so bomb.
Yeah.
You know, even the race was so cool. Like when I remember I turned to you while we were watching the race, and I was like, dude, I want to play this game, you know, because it would be so sick. I love Need for Speed.
Right.
When it first
Oh,
came
yeah,
out,
yeah.
oh, it
Oh,
was so
man.
sick.
Yeah.
But then, like, they never really made Need for Speed. Like, they just stuck to GTA 5 with their racing, you know? Like, has there been a racing game aside from Need for Speed in a long time?
Well, there has been. There are other companies that have taken over. Like
Yeah, like Forza. Yeah, but
yeah.
like, nothing that you're like, man, I gotta... Like, remember Need for Speed Underground? And then that was the first time you could soup up your cars?
Mm-hmm.
That was sick. Like, you could get a faster car, you can get
Yeah.
one with glowing... Like, they kind of veered away from that now.
Yeah. Well, I think yeah, that's true. But the movie really represents like the GTA Online. Like,
Yeah,
because
true.
you're in the world, you can interact with the people that's there,
Yeah.
and then you can set up races. Like that's how it kind
True.
of felt, right?
What I liked is how they hid their names.
Yeah.
Remember he said like, my name's Wade and I love you, and then it was like,
No,
don't ever say your real name, you know, you idiot, blah blah blah. I was like, that was really cool because it was sort of like online world. It's like you never really give away who you are, you know. We use our aliases all the time. You know?
Yeah.
Like when you play GTA 5, they call you 8th Sage.
Well, I have a different name under my.
Oh, Cylon. They call you Cylon. Yeah, they call you Cylon. Yeah.
No, I know, but Not everyone of my friends that though. Someone who used real name.
Oh well, of course, yeah. But it was,
I think it's even changing now too because on the PS4, you can allocate to use your real name.
oh no way, that's kind of
Is
cool.
it the right word? Anyways, like you can show it off to
Yeah.
some of your friends. So, because people, it's hard to think of your
Yeah, your
all
tag
these
name.
names. Yeah.
But it was funny how that one scene when she like called him Z in the real world, and he's like he called her Artemis, but she's actually Samantha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
That was very
and
cool.
Yeah.
And the this I really liked in the movie how he got that excessive money, and then his friend was like, "Dude, don't spend it all." Because when we
Right,
played GTA 5, I'd always spend my money right away on like new clothes or cool stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like you'd always save it. You were like H in the movie.
Yeah.
Right?
But now as the GTA comes to an end,
Is you gotta spend it. Like it's not gonna last forever. So
right.
yeah.
So
So what else? What else you like?
uh,
I like how they stored his memories. That was cool in the library banks. I was like, I wonder if this can actually be done.
Right. Oh yeah.
So like the game creator, you can go into like his logs and stuff, and then you can like watch episodes from his life.
yeah.
That was really cool. Segments and stuff.
Yeah, the thing was also like who that character was too.
For sure, yeah.
The caretaker of that place.
Oh yeah, it turned out to be his friend at the very end. Yeah, that was very cool. Yeah. Spoiler. Like that was the only twist because I thought Artemis was gonna be the girl who worked for him, and then they just like. The thing I liked about this movie is they showed you and they tied it up really quickly and neatly. There was no like big twist except for the caretaker being the guy.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah, I think it was. I did not expect the ending, like the surprise of, he's like, well, how he lived, because of the bet that he did, right?
Uh-huh.
And he got the extra life.
Yeah.
That was like I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which was kind of cool because again, another Remnants games, right?
Plot like what twists?
No, like the whole extra life.
Oh,
Like,
extra life.
again,
Yeah.
it's
Because
you
everyone
forget these
died.
things.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Everyone died except he had a one extra life coin thing.
Yeah.
That was so sick. Yeah, I really like that. They really tied in. The only thing I was saying today was like they should have added in Dragon Ball Z. That would have been cool. Or like Metal Gear Solid would have been really cool. Or Splinter Cell would have been really cool. But I'm wondering if I watch it again, if in the army, will you see those people? You know what I mean? Like, are there Easter eggs in the movie?
Right.
Maybe, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, Dragon Ball Z was there, bro. You just had to look at the war.
Yeah,
You know?
there's so many characters.
There were so many characters. Yeah. I really like that Gundam scene. It was cool how they made him meditating, and then then when he like jumped in, he chose to like, I want the Gundam.
Right.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what else you got before I go spiritual on you?
I don't know. Well, I enjoyed it as quite entertaining.
Well, one thing though, as like I was saying this today, I didn't say this to you though, but it was funny how during the movie, right, they kind of played on like black stereotypes. So like when they're talking about The Shining, he's like, I don't like scary movies, right? And then you find out that H is actually a black girl, and you're like, oh, but they're playing on the stereotype of like they don't like scary movies because they die first, right?
Oh, okay.
Right.
I didn't think like that.
Oh, you didn't catch that? Yeah, there's like all these like subtle entendres in the movie, which I found very entertaining.
Right.
Yeah.
That's quite funny. Did not see that. I didn't think of that.
Or how Brownlee's saying today that it was like a King Arthur thing because the wizard was Merlin and Percival worked with Merlin and he was destined to win it kind of thing. It would have been more obvious if
Like
they called him
the
Arthur or
game,
something.
the movie is like a game, right?
Mhm.
You've got it's like the whole plot of it, and
For sure.
and a nice,
Sweet ending,
yeah.
like tied it up very nice. Yeah,
like an Uncharted or something.
Yeah, it was one of those movies that like it was just a feel good movie with a good lesson, but it was like a really good feel good movie, very immersive.
Yeah.
It was just like a video game,
Yeah.
immersive and like you felt good at the end. Yeah. Anything else?
The top of my head, I don't know. Well, what else? We had a discussion before like right after, so it's kind of like.
Yeah. But
What else?
I'm
I don't
saving
know.
I'm saving my spiritual talk before.
No, I know. I don't know of anything else.
All right, cool. Well, if you think of one, you interject.
Sure.
All right. So boom, this is why I like the movie. It's because it was it was actually a tale. A bomb went off. It was actually a tale of like achieving moksha or liberation from your eternal reincarnation. Okay, what do I mean? So if you actually look at the way, like the director of the movie, if you actually look at his life, there's not that much he can do left in his life that he hasn't already accomplished, right? He's got all the awards, he's got all the money, he's got like a family, et cetera, et cetera. Like he's carved a name for himself. So what happens if you achieve, like so many people in life are so afraid to achieve what it is that they set out for themselves or to realize their true potential, right? And like what happens if you do push through that boundary and you find your true potential, like Steven Spielberg, right? All you can do is enjoy the ride. That's the final true lesson of it, because it's like when so like they talk about samsara, which is the eternal reincarnation of the soul here on earth, right? And then in order to achieve liberation or moksha, you have to incur enough of a karmic balance in one direction, right? The positive direction. So when you watch the movie, I really like that line at the end when he kept telling you about, like, even though the video game world was so amazing, it's like it's the real world that matters the most, right? Because and then they're like, well, why does the real world matter? And he's like, because it's the only place you can get really good food. And it was like, in its subtlety, it taught you the truth of reality. It's not some grand answer. It's just that, like, this is the experience and you should enjoy it before you die, because it's the only thing, just like he said at the end, he's like, it's the only thing you know that's real, right? And that's like our experiences. Although I guess you could technically say that video games are real, you know, like because your awareness is going into the video game. So on some level, you know, it's just basically the whole lesson was like, you have to realize that, you know, you can have your objective, but at the end of the day, it's all about your experience. You know, I guess that's why they say it's not the destination, it's the journey.
Yeah.
Because like in the end, when you reach the hilltop, you realize, no, the whole thing was the fun part. It had nothing to do with like actually achieving what I thought I should achieve. Yeah. So basically, I thought the movie represented the Matrix of a current generation, because when the Matrix first came out, you couldn't pull that kind of stuff off today, because people would like forget. It was too impactful, I felt. The Matrix, they're talking about, like, they had a lot of societal connotations about like marketing and like who are we, what are we as a species and stuff. But like the way Spielberg did it was he retold the Matrix, the lessons of the Matrix, not necessarily that we're trapped, you know, we're battery packs. That was a deeper message in the Matrix, you know, or battery packs for society. That's what like poor people are or whatever. And like but in this one, it's more about like, well, life is your reality, and like you know, learn how to deal with it. Right. Yeah, so that earned it the 10 out of 10 spot, because like if I were to try to explain this stuff to people, I'd be like, you gotta watch Ready Player One first, and then if your brain can handle it, then you move on to the Matrix. But before I tell people, just jump into the Matrix, you know. But like that's way too heavy for people. And that is
I mean, I don't look into it like that anymore, I guess.
The deeper meaning. Oh, but like I was saying,
like, I get it.
Yeah. But Guy Ritchie, he was saying like for King Arthur, he was on Joe Rogan. He's like, if you have the eyes to see, you'll understand what it is I'm actually talking about, right? And then like Joe Rogan's like, well, what do you mean? And then he went into this whole like exegesis on what King Arthur's actually about. It's about like accepting your destiny, becoming who you were meant to be, realizing your potential, basically, right? And Joe's like, well, how many people do you think will actually get your true meaning out of this? And he's like, you know, the people who have the eyes to see it will see what I'm talking about, and the people that don't, it's an entertaining movie. So that's how I felt this movie was. It was like, oh, this is just a entertaining movie for some, but then people who chose to delve deeper, like Steven Spielberg, gave you that opportunity to like realize the truth about reality.
I think a lot of movies try to do that.
They do. No,
It's a
100%.
message, but it could be harder to get versus.
Or no, like they're trying to
Harder
tell
to
you
receive.
something else that's specific. You know what I mean? Like other movies do it, but they're trying to hit on different points. But the reason why I like this movie is they explain like why are we here?
Yeah.
You know, it's like what is life all about? These movies explain that to you. You know, and that's why I like those, because like other ones will tell you about like, oh, you know, like more shallow depths of reality, you know, like Inception. Interstellar was about how mankind can, you know, work together and like overcome a difficulty. You know, that's a task oriented thing. But if you take the task away, like like if you had no task, that's what I'm saying, like the whole liberation thing. So people are so afraid to actually achieve liberation or realize their true potential, because once they've achieved that greatness, then you ask yourself like, what's next? You know, and people are afraid to actually ask what's next because they don't want the power to be in their hands, right? Because when we were children, we like had all these hopes and dreams for ourselves, right? So we'd spend our entire lives trying to live up to those hopes and dreams, right? But then what happens when you realize those hopes and dreams? You know, you can just go crazy. Like we see it with celebrities all the time. They get rich really fast, and they're like, well, what do I do with my life? You know, I beat the game too early.
Right.
You know. Yeah, but
but those are the kinds of movies I like. Versus
wait, which ones do you like? The more
the
task
Interstellar,
oriented?
the Martian.
Yeah. Well, but that's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying this is a bad
task-oriented.
movie, but these are different kinds of movies.
No, for sure. But I'm saying those movies are more task oriented. This one's more about like what happens if you have no task. You know what I mean? Like this one's about having gotten everything
Right,
you
I see
wanted
what you're
in
saying.
life.
Yeah.
But the other ones are about like I need something in life.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
those movies were great for motivating me as
Yeah.
well. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
watching James Bond. So it's like it's funny because when I was in school and I was like, okay, I have to motivate myself into studying. I pretend I was like James Bond or like Batman because he had a task. He's like, you have to be good.
Right.
But then like, well, then what happens if you have no task? It's like you're kind of just lost, you know. But then watching those movies now, I'm kind of like, I could never watch those movies now. I could watch them for the entertainment, but like they won't inspire me because it's like I've been there, done that. You know what I mean? It's like I've already completed my tasks. You know.
Yeah. But I prefer those than this.
The task ones. Maybe it's a loop because like you were in the other boat as me, right? Before you liked the more, because I remember you telling me this one story of how. Do you remember it? It was like a movie where the guy was telling about his life, and then he played Moses, Jesus, Buddha, right? But he's an old guy.
Yeah.
Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, I remember that movie.
What's the movie called?
I don't remember now.
Oh, I'd like
was
to
so
watch
long
that.
ago.
Yeah, I'd like to watch that movie. That sounds really like a really good movie.
Like yeah, that was.
It was like an old man in like a thing.
Yeah. So this is what I mean. Like now, I don't need those things anymore.
That's what I'm saying. You've already
That
surpassed it.
I
so
would
now-
prefer to have something that I would enjoy. That I like to get.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like that's what I'm saying. Like all life is about like hatha, right? It's like it's all about yin yang, right?
Right.
So like you were all about that. Oh, let me find the truth of reality, truth of reality. And you're like, oh, I get it. And then you're like, okay, let's just enjoy reality.
Yeah.
And then maybe later on it'll just be back and forth. Right now, before I was in that, oh, like reality. Now it's like truth of reality. Like, you know, we swapped.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
So, yeah, maybe that's what like you'll start to realize about life. It's like it's an up and down process. Like sometimes you want to know what's going on. Sometimes you just want to enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So like this movie and movies like The Matrix and maybe King Arthur. King Arthur's not really about this stuff. King Arthur's more in the task oriented, you know. But like maybe that's what these movies really inspire us to like be.
Yeah, I mean, I think
or, like,
you need
enlighten
all.
us
I
to
think you need
becoming-
all of these kinds of movies, all these sorts.
For sure,
They all
for sure.
have something to teach.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say this is more like an enlightening movie, and then those other movies are motivating movies.
Right.
Right? Because like those movies motivate you to do something. This one's more enlightening. It's like, well, why? You know, like what if Neo asked himself, like he's like, oh, you know, like, you have to liberate us from freedom, blah blah blah. What if Neo had like an enlightening moment? He's like, yo, we're all just doing the same thing. Like the robot's trying to survive too.
Right.
It's just his time. You know, and he let it go. Then it would have been an enlightening movie. It'd have been like, oh, true. Even then, in spite the diversity, like adversity, he still realized the truth about nature and just like accepted his position. You know.
Right.
sometimes you have to accept, sometimes you can't accept, you know.
Yeah.
Like Neo couldn't accept that place, but in reality his mind was the one telling him he couldn't accept that place, because at the end of the day it didn't matter if Neo died. He's like, today or tomorrow or 1,000 years from now,
Right.
he's dead. You know.
Yeah.
But that's the scary part that people have a hard time like accepting. It's like you care so much about reality, but when you look at the bigger picture, it's like, dude, you're gonna be dead in like 100 years anyways, so why do you care so much? But the mind can't deal with that, because it's like I have to accept my like futilism, you know. It's like nothing really, it's not in a negative way. People are like, oh, that sounds very like negative, but it's not actually a negative perspective. It's a more realistic perspective, which is kind of funny though, because they say most people,
the more the reason for you to enjoy.
Yeah, true. But it's funny because like they say a lot of people who are like depressed usually have the most accurate impression of life. You know.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. So from either an entertaining perspective or a spiritual perspective, this movie hit both.
Yeah. And if you played those kinds of games,
nostalgia,
pure.
It was fun. It taught you a very valuable lesson about reality.
Right.
It was engaging. Like you were in it. You felt for the characters. Like I felt like emotion. Like I was like, oh, I feel like. But I guess it's because like I remember feeling like that.
Right.
So like all the feelings that they felt, it's like, dude, I totally felt that way too. You know.
Yeah.
What else? It was an open and shut case. It doesn't seem like there'll be, you know, part 2. Because there can't be a part 2.
Yeah.
Because like he has the button to destroy everything.
Yeah.
Unless part 2 is like when they're all dead, what happens next? But then that's just a rehashing of part 1. Because it's like, well, this is what happened when the guy who owned it died.
Oh, so the other thing I want to remember now was who the bad guy was.
Who was the bad guy?
No, the corporate guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How they would try to take over this kind of thing. It was.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing I remember now. Putting ads all over your screen or something. You gotta pay to play.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
You have the artist perspective and the businessman perspective, which is very interesting because the bad guy was the businessman.
Yeah.
But I guess you couldn't say he was bad. They just presented him to be bad.
No, I know.
Right?
Like he's the. Yeah. But, I mean, even his.
It's like a realistic.
Even his avatar is like in the design.
Like a standard bad guy. Yeah. But it was interesting because it's like, you know, like the artist, the guy who created it was like, no, I just want people to love it, to enjoy it. And then he was trying to say like, oh, you can get more money if you put it into tiered systems or like, you know what I mean? It's very interesting that way.
Oh yeah.
Or like, and they wanted to use like augmented reality or like in-game, like what is he saying? He's like before they even enter the world, they'll be hit with the most banner ads they can.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like then there was like, well, that's only if you win the game, win the thing. Yeah, so fascinating. Like it was so real. It was very realistic. It applied so heavily to life because not even if you're like, oh, I don't play video games. What they were really talking about was your digital self. Because I remember like, because I personally don't play video games that much online with other people. Like I guess like playing the game by yourself, but the whole idea was that you go into a different like what do you call those games? What's like a life immersive reality or something? I forgot it's like a lifestyle game or something. There's I think it's called lifestyle games.
Right.
But
there's a lot like that now too. Even in the since the VR is out, there's people are creating like those kinds of worlds.
But the first ones were like dating chat rooms, right?
Yeah.
Before they had those games,
like just chat rooms.
Yeah. And like it's interesting because like, you know that's like so like it's interesting because even though you're like, oh, I don't play those video games, we do that with like our Facebook accounts, with our Instagram accounts.
See, that's
you know, it's like we're all
creating a digital self.
You know, and then when he's like, oh, I love you, right? And then she's like, no, you love what I tell you about me, right?
Right.
And it's like that's so true. Like you don't see any of the negative parts. Just like when you're looking at somebody's Instagram feed. Like for all of you out there who are like looking at my Instagram feed, and you're like, oh, that's so sick. Your life's so sick. Well, it is sick because I believe it to be sick. But like it's more like no, you're just seeing the manicured version. You have to realize that. You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's nothing really bad about it.
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They don't hate my life. It's not like a big secret or anything. But like,
no.
It's just like when you see like people, and you're like, man, I wish I could like live like them. You know, you have to first look like, how different are they from me? You know.
Yeah.
Or use them as sources of inspiration. Don't use them as like pedestals, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Don't aspire to be them because you hate them. Just aspire to be them because you think it's really cool. Like Casey Neistat for me, like I don't want to be as so like when people are like, oh, I watch his vlogs, right? I'm like, no, I watch them for like entertainment value. Other people watch it because they want like to be him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, that's like you should be yourself, but you should be like, oh, how are you playing this video game called life?
Yeah.
But which is interesting because like that old theory that I've been going up with for like forever, my life a video game. That's what I felt like this was about. It's like it's a real portrayal of like your life really is turning digital. You know, like,
Right.
There's no difference between like your real self. The only difference between your real self and your digital self is that one feels pain, one doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like actually.
Yeah,
You know, because like you can kill a person, your avatar, and you're just like, yeah, whatever. But if you kill yourself in real life, you're like, oh, it hurts. What are you saying?
Like that. See the suit that they were wearing.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
I'm like, I don't know if I really want to feel.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of pain.
But I think they were like sensual suits.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like it was
if
like,
it worked in
perfect.
that sense, I could get it.
Yeah, no,
But like then you should not use it when you're physically fighting somebody.
So basically, they have these special suits where like if you get touched in the video game, you could feel that through sensors on your body, right?
Yeah.
And like through the motion suit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like we were saying, it's like why would you use it for fighting? Because you feel the bullets going into you.
Yeah.
But like there was like a suggestive scene there, and it's like, oh, that's when they would use that bodysuit.
Of course.
You know.
Yeah.
Not for killing and stuff. It's crazy.
No.
But yeah, so final thoughts about the game?
The game?
Oh, but see you right there. Yeah, because I was thinking, I was like, man, I would totally love to play this game.
Oh yeah.
I kept thinking that. I
can't wait till
like,
we get to that kind of.
That'd be so crazy. But I couldn't, like, for morality reasons, I don't think I could do it for a long time. Because like I'd just be like, oh man, I'm like, I need to like make real me better too, you know, like. Unless there were like digital, if you go in the digital space and you can read like books there too, or like.
Well, why not? I mean.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
You at least I'd use it for like how right now, like, you know, I got those 3 screens, but I'm like watching things and like learning things. Like it's about how you use the tool. It's not about the tool being bad.
Mm-hmm.
So is the internet bad? No, it depends on how you use it.
Yeah.
You know, just like a video game, like the Assassin's Creed Origin. But we'll cover that next time. Assassin's Creed Origin, the downloadable content or.
Yeah,
I keep saying in the videos like DLC, but it's not really DLC. It's just like an expansion or something. It's like an add-on.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can use it for good or evil, and they used it for good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah. Final score. Did you change it? Still an 8.
No, I didn't change it.
Okay.
I would still give it an 8. But I think you do bring up a lot of good points though with that whole connection
to spirituality.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I was already primed for it, you know. That's why,
I know.
like, when it's almost like a all right, it's not gonna like sound freaking elitist, but it's almost like a secret code because like the people that know, they just talk to each other about it. It's like, you know what I mean? Like you watch it and you're like that, but it's sort of like, you know what it's like? It's like when you're a kid and you watch those animated movies,
Yeah.
and then like you didn't get those jokes that your parents got. Mm-hmm. But then when they got older, they were in on the joke.
Yeah.
So like they thought those lines were cool. So it's sort of like that for me. It's like because I've like delved super deeply into this. Like when they say that stuff, it really hits home. Mm-hmm. But like for the average like watcher, you're just like, like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
I get it. Life's cool. All right, fine, bro. But yeah, I'll give mine still a 15 out of 10. Gotta give it. It's number 1. No, I'll go with 10 out of 10. Whatever. We'll go with your silly. He does. Remember the game creator? I believe rules were meant to be broken.
That's such a normal line, though.
Yeah. So. Okay, so 10 out of 10. Final score is a 9 out of 10 from us if we combine the two.
Sure.
Definitely go see it. I'm gonna buy this one. Hopefully, there's like a 3D viewing set. That'd be kind of cool. I'd buy that.
It wasn't really a lot of 3D though.
Yeah, that's true too.
Like when we were beginning the part of it, was not.
Yeah.
Only like once it got
in the game, yeah.
Once it got into.
But it's so immersive.
Yeah.
It was just like Avatar. Like that's what I liked. Like you can use like 3D for gimmicky, or you can use it for depth of field and like depth perception.
Yeah.
And Avatar was the first movie that used it for depth perception, and I remember feeling like as I watched it, my brain thought I was watching into a different world through the screen. You know, like I could almost fall into it.
Right.
And that's how I kind of felt with this one. I was like, wow, like we are in the digital world. But yeah, you're right. Like in the real world, it was more physical, like more flat.
Yeah.
And then in that world, it was like very dynamic.
Yeah.
Like this is a definite must watch in 3D. Is it an IMAX worthy movie? Maybe.
I mean, whatever, if you got the money for it.
Yeah, true. But it's definitely not a 2D watch.
Yeah.
I wouldn't watch it in 2D. It's not one of those.
No.
Yeah.
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 No.
Rampage probably a 3D as well.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, we'll see. Maybe it'll blow my mind. It'll be like, oh, it's my new number one, Rampage.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I know.
I doubt that.
It's kind of ironic that they're both video game movies.
Are they video game?
Yeah,
I didn't
Rampage
know
is a video game.
Oh,
it's a Super Nintendo. No, it's an N64 game.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really old school.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
So the story's not the same, but the characters, like as he gets angrier or something, or like he gets hit, he gets bigger or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Oh.
So that's what they're going for. But yeah.
Okay.
So what's our next movie we'll review?
Well, in a couple weeks will be
Avengers. Yeah, unless we watch Rampage, I guess.
I guess this. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
It'll be Rampage.
Or maybe we'll throw it because I don't want to do a whole movie review on Rampage.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do like a weekly.
We'll put that a
roundup.
part of our maybe weekly podcast.
Just like how we did. What was that other movie? I was gonna say Wind River. That wasn't that movie.
No, we didn't have that. I don't know what. Oh, the
Quiet Place. Yeah,
Quiet
that was a good movie. Yeah, Quiet Place. That's funny. The potholes. We were talking about that today over lunch or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, so many plot holes. But yeah.
I let them go because they're just movies.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah. So definitely go check out this one. Stay tuned as we do more and we discuss more.
Yeah.
Till next time. Take it easy.
Easy.
Oh, that was a ditto moment. Jinx. It was a Jinx moment, not ditto moment.
Ditto moment.
I don't know. I'm thinking too much video games like Ditto, Pokemon. Yeah. Till next time. Take it easy.
Later.
Bye.
Peace.